It's 96.9 Cool FM, 15 minutes past 12 o'clock. It is your number one hit music station. I'm Deals to the TUN. I've got Cammy Smalls with me. What's good?
Yeah, you already know. So yes, finally, we are in the Cool Nigerian Vibes era, and we're talking to you earlier about us having a guest in the studio. A couple of guests. Well, our first guest is here now.
Yeah. And talking about, if you want to check the records, I like people who can pull numbers for the right reasons, right? You don't even have to just have conversation with the people. The name pops up. You know it is someone who has done a lot for not just for themselves, but for everybody, the industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. Now, not just taking Nigeria, taking Africa, is like taking Africa and Nigeria to the world. I mean, from him, I respect that a lot. Been in this business for years and having to elevate every single time, especially in a craft that you can tell there's a lot of tons of guys doing it, but he does his own differently. I mean, whether you like it or not, one of the funniest guys to ever come out of Africa and Nigeria, a representation of goodness. And when you talk about comedy as a whole, entertainment as a whole, you're gonna pop his name every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, extraordinaire, a man who has done stand-up for 24/7. He has never stopped, put a lot of comedians on, and guess what? Actually brings to Nigeria and Africa the biggest show to ever grace any stage. I'm talking about the one and the only Basket Mal is right here.
Yes. Damn. I like to sound like that. Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Basket. How you doing?
Very well, man. Thank you very much.
This is almost like you know when you say we could grant our independence because finally you're here because you've not been on Cool FM for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been like how many years now?
Honestly,
but I was here last year, but I didn't just come during your time, and I didn't stay for long.
True. But it's good. It's great to have you on the show, and great to have you back again. And great to have you back in Nigeria because you're almost like
I'm back now.
You should be the ambassador of You travel a lot.
Yeah, I know.
How do you keep up with that and family? Think about it.
Okay, so what I do is, because good thing is I don't hang out. So whenever I'm back in Nigeria, I'm home. Do you understand? So when the kids are back from school, yeah, like you can see, my daughter actually came with me. Okay, whenever I didn't do anything.
I've been following your updates lately, and you're like, it's like they don't see me. And I think I dropped a comment when we had a conversation.
Yeah, we're talking.
I'm like, you spend the money, but
they don't
all the mummies get the brand new cars and houses. They're the ones who get the love. Can't be sorry. Don't look at me like that.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
I'm giving you my side eye. I'm getting ready for you. Don't worry.
Okay, shout out to you. But I know he was joking, but I get it. Yeah. And I told him, I said straight up, you know the funny thing, we're all in the same box. I mean, we're the ones who just go, we chase the money, put the money down, make sure, and everybody comes out and say, no, I love my mommy. I'm like, okay.
See, the person that came up with that line, to be a man is not a day's job. Yeah. That person is definitely right. You need to give that guy an award. Do you understand? To be a man is hard.
We just got Kevin started.
My body is doing me dish.
My body is scratching out.
But yeah,
our responsibility is to provide, and that's what we do from the day we start hustling till the day we die.
Right there.
Yeah, but women provide as well.
The kids.
Yeah, women provide generally as well. So what do we say then?
No, we're not saying that. We're not going there.
We're talking about ourselves. Speak for yourself. That's nice.
Dotun likes to do this thing to me. He knows that. He knows where to hit me. But yeah, it's really nice how you've been able to at least balance.
Yeah, try to balance it,
work and family as well. So as a comedian, I want to go right into the questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah. What's the best thing? What's the best thing that comedy has done for you in your entire life? What's the one thing that you're like, if not for this comedy, I wouldn't have this?
Everything, actually. I thank God for the talent, because if it wasn't for comedy, I wouldn't be here right now. Mm-hmm. You understand? I'm trying to sound like Dotun right now. But comedy is what I know. It's the only job I've done since since I started working. It was my first job, and it's been the job I've been doing since, like, for the past 21 years. Yes, I throw a little bit of promotion in between, because I do I promote events as well. I produce events, but mainly it's comedy, and I owe everything to it. Do you understand? So trust me, like, it's it's everything.
Yeah, which kind of leads me to my next question. So we've seen it evolve time and time again. The
Yeah.
world is moving fast. Things are changing. It's now a more sensitive time.
Yeah.
You know, like you could say something and it could be taken out of context.
Yes.
How do you balance the comedy side and then not offending the general populace?
It's difficult. What I do is it's unfortunate that right now there are certain words you can't use anymore, and I can't even use it now. I can't even make reference
like
to
rape.
it. Yeah,
Like
definitely that.
Yeah.
I don't know why anytime anybody says that word, right? If that word is mentioned, my heart skips.
I get it. And people have been talking about it lately. Like, so is there any barriers to kind of jokes you tell?
Yeah, and does the whole situation put comedians in a box?
Yes, it does. Now I'll tell you for free. We are not supposed to be limited to the kind of humor that we have to create. But unfortunately, we live in a world where people are now very sensitive. There are words you can't use. There are ways you can't even describe people anymore. There are colors you can't even wear. You understand? I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But generally, all these sensitive things, it has actually put us in a box whereby it limits our creativity. Do you understand? There are certain things we know we can't actually joke about, like the rape thing, like woman trafficking and all that stuff. That's sensitive subject. But then again, you offend somebody with a joke. There's always one person that will be offended. If you're cracking a joke about poverty, there are people that are poor and they don't find it funny. Do you understand? If you crack a joke about somebody that is sick, there are people that are sick and their families are going through pain. Do you understand? So right now, what we're supposed to be doing, our job is to make serious situations become lighter. Do you understand? Or then again, we need to actually understand the fact that there are certain points that we can't, you understand, certain barriers that we must stay. We have to just pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, comedy is very big in Nigeria, and you have taken out time to take it out of our shores and show it to the world. I mean,
but no, sorry, I didn't say one thing. That the reason why your question.
Okay.
I mean, how I escape is is that whenever I'm about to go online and post something, unlike before, I'll just type and post. But right now, if I type, I'll show Dotun, who is my talent manager, and I'll show Ann Obaseki, who is the business manager, and we are all okay. Then I show my wife, babe, can you see this? Is it okay? So what do you think? I'll show about like 3 or 4 other people. Like, is this fine? Are you sure they won't think that? So you can imagine how
crazy.
Yes, I can imagine how difficult it is right now. But it's fine. We have to do it because one mistake, especially now that I'm promoting a show. Yeah,
it is sensitive. It is, and the thing is, talking about comedy. Truthfully, sometimes you see people write stuff about basketball and say he did this for me. Like one of the things I loved was when Banky W was contesting and you bought. Honestly, sometimes for us who are acting in the industry, we know that you do a lot of putting people on. You put a lot of comedians on. And now, but sometimes, you still get the bashing for it. Sometimes they say you're not doing enough. And sometimes you hear stuff like there is a clique. It's almost like when you see Lord of the Ribs, you see your same friends who actually act with you. You put in a bit of guys. Like if a Worry Boy, he just joined the family and everything. But there are questions about cliques in the comedy industry.
Yeah.
Is there any... Because the truth is, it pops up every time.
Yeah.
Do we have that? Is it godfatherism, or do we have things like clique, headed by certain kind of people? I heard this many times. Oh, this one is this one's faction. This guy's actually this one's faction because they did a talent show and they actually blew up under him. Or this one because they act with basketball and that's why he's on the.
Yeah.
Is there anything like a clique?
I won't call it a clique. I'll say more family, right? Like you see that sometimes you see like even when we were growing up, there are some friends that you're closer with, like you guys, like me, 5-4 of you guys. Yeah. There are some other friends that you guys are also, like other people that you guys are also friends with. You guys are acquainted, you guys are cool, but you don't get to hang with them because they have their own, they hang together.
Okay.
It's like I don't know how to put it now. It's not like a clique. It's just people that you're comfortable with. Like, for instance, now I'm close to Bovi, Bucci, Agosave, and all these guys. Why? Because we work together. We always see ourselves. We're friends beyond the fact that we are colleagues. So you get to see us. So most times when something pops up, they're the first people I tend to run to. Do you understand? And because of these things, people, because perception is reality.
Yeah.
You understand? So what these people are seeing, they just tend to believe it, but it doesn't mean that that's true. Yeah, because you could still see, like, I can't remember the particular day, but I was hanging out with some other. I don't know if I'm supposed to mention the names.
You can.
But a lot of people have been saying things. Oh, he's not close with AY. He's not close. Like, I was hanging out with him. We had drinks some of that time. But it's normal for people.
And that's the part we don't get to see, actually.
Yeah,
that's the part we don't get to see. Like, you just touched it. I mean, for example, I've never seen a basketball on an AY show. I've never seen an AY on a basketball show.
Yeah,
and those things kind of pop up. And lately, you just mentioned Buffy. I know you and Buffy are very good friends. I'm an insider. From the outsider, I've not seen Buffy on a lot of the reefs in a long time.
Yeah.
He has not even done a skit with basketball in a while.
It's a good thing you mentioned that.
Yeah, he has not even been on your popular sitcom as well. So
he's been on the show before.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Buffy has his own show. Like, let me just clear this one out.
Okay, good.
Buffy has his own show,
Yeah.
and Back to School, which is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he needs to create his own brand.
I like that, yeah.
So for me to drag him into Flatmates, I'm not letting him do what he needs to do, because that's like, he's splitting the image and the brand.
And it's almost a conflict of interest as well.
Yeah, as well. So when I told him that, dude, he was one of the first people I called. Like, dude, I would like for you to come on Flatmate. I was like, look, I won't be able to do it because I'm doing this show.
Yeah.
But because of people are now saying, oh, he's not on the show, oh, maybe they are. No, come on, man. And we've not done a skit together. You guys wait for another 3 days.
Okay. So
another three more days.
Fingers crossed, guys. But he's nice. I mean, that's why we have interviews like this to clear things like this.
Yeah, there's nothing like, all this is a perceptions, and I don't blame anybody to think a certain way, but everybody's growing. Like, the same way, very soon you're going to stop seeing myself and Bucci often, because he's going to
start evolving, do his own stuff
as well. The same thing's going to happen to even if you worry boy down to everybody. Everybody's going to grow. There was a time I was always with Ali Baba, 247,
Yeah,
and I now moved on. I started my own family because everybody's married, So there are times we roll together, and there's times we, But I don't want to start answering too many questions, because my own is just wait for another 48 hours, and you guys will know.
Nice.
There's a reason why we stay low. Everybody needs to. We have a plan. Do you understand? Like, okay, dude, you do like this, then I do like this. Then we can't do this one because it won't work, but we can do this and all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Back in the show, guys. We'll be right back. Basketball is right here, 27 minutes past 12 o'clock. This is Basketball LD Whiskered, where you did. We dug this out of the crate. Yes, we do. We'll be right back. Don't touch that radio. You're rocking with the best 96.9 Cool FM. Joe Boy, whether you like it or not, is one of the fastest growing stars in Africa. I mean, I like the fact Mr. Easy picked him out. Kemi has been on the show, and we like his music.
I did. I mean, I love him. He's such a unassuming guy.
Yeah.
At the same time.
His persona is
just chill,
laid back, but his music is fire. Whether you like it or not. So, guys, look out for him, Joe Boy. And still your number one hit music station. Still the Midday Way Sizzle. Still got one of the best ever do it. We got Basketball right here.
Yes,
the Lord of the Reefs is coming in few weeks, right?
Yeah.
The best, I think, honestly, one of the best stand-up comedy shows in Nigeria. I like the fact that we're not even going to stress on tables. You sit down.
Yeah.
What show?
Yes, sir. I know, man.
I want to commend it. And why do you, first of all, now let me go to that question, because now everybody says this question might not every comedian will like it. They feel like, because whether you like it or not, that's how they make money, right?
Okay.
And I remember one time popping a question talking about tables, and one comedian was not happy about it. Now, but you switch it up. You don't do tables anymore. Why?
Okay, not like I don't do tables anymore. I do tables, but at the same time, what I do is I do a theater style gig. That's why I started doing 2 shows.
Okay.
I started doing a theater style gig, and I started doing a premium gig. Like this one, at the end of the month, the first show is the 28th. Is theater style, 5,000 naira flat, no VIP, no nothing.
Okay.
Because the way it's done outside is the comedian is on stage. You understand? The comedy happens on stage, and everybody is seated theater style.
Yeah.
And they sit down and they enjoy you. Like when there are tables, right? They are eating, they are drinking. Comedy is not the
Distractions.
It's getting in the way.
distractions. Comedy is not the kind of, that's not how it's done. You understand? Even in comedy clubs, everybody they stop serving when the comedian is on stage.
Wow.
Do you understand? But out here it's different. So what I said is like, you know what, to make the comedians also feel like comedians. Do you understand? But they don't feel that energy, because we do better when the crowd is, because it's like a trade.
Yeah.
We give you the jokes, you give us the laughs. Do you understand? So when the comedian is dropping in and people are walking around and eating and doing all that stuff, it's distracting.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's do 2 shows. Let's do one as a normal standard gig, theater style. Let the people that normally stay at the back have the opportunity to be in front and enjoy the show.
Okay.
The way it
I
should
love
be
that.
done. You understand? Then let's do another gig for the bougies. Do you understand? That way we will know that, okay, they will be eating, they will be drinking. So we prepare ourselves and say, okay, you know what? Let's just go and face this battle. But the truth of the matter is, without the table, without those tables,
You can't make.
you can't make back your money.
Okay. So
Okay.
we can't stop the table policy.
You can't stop it for
Yeah,
now.
it's a business at the end of
we,
the day.
we don't have that ticketing system whereby the people, like, you know, you go to the website where you're selling your ticket, the platform, and you can now pick seats, and the amount of the ticket prices differs. You know how it is, like when you do the O2 and all those places,
Yeah.
the seats in front, they're like £150. Fourth row is like 120.
Computerized
Yeah,
ticketing.
they just like
Okay.
computer tickets and all that. We don't have that kind of system here because we don't have a theater. Do you get?
Okay.
So it's something that they come in, set the chair. Like even with this gig, I'm actually bringing in bleachers, so that way the people at the back will be elevated and they can see what's happening on stage.
Okay.
You understand? The same way I did it last year. So the tables left to me, I'll kick it out. Like I don't like the idea of tables, but we need to sell them. Do you understand? And we need to actually also cater for those people. They are, you know, these guys. We need to actually respect
Because
them.
we
as
have people
well,
that are not
because-
going to stay with everybody.
Yeah, because
Whether
they-
you like it or not. Yeah.
So the thing is that when we do tables and the normal standard ticket, most of the people at the back, the regular people, they don't feel like they're part of the show. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give the big boys their own show and give these guys their own show. And I think it's
Okay,
working well
okay.
because everybody's happy now.
Everybody's happy now. So how about filming style? Is it, so that people can watch like a comedy special after? Is that in the works as well? Like I just want to go on one of these channels and say I want to watch Basket Mouth's Lord of the Reefs.
Yeah, there's something I'm doing with Lords of the Reefs. This is the first time I'm going to be saying it. But now I wanted to do Son of Peter, and I've not done I've not done my own one-man stand-up comedy show for
Okay.
a very long time.
Okay.
And I'm trying to do it. I've been trying to do it for a while, but I've been distracted, flatmates and all that. So I'm now ready to do it. But unfortunately, they had a lot of stand-up comedy shows this year. You know, everyone was doing their shows. I didn't want to get mine. I didn't want to put mine and it's just going to get missing. So I switched it up to Lords of the Ribs.
Okay.
Now, what I'm now doing is inside Lords of the Ribs, I'm doing Son of Peter. Do you get? So my set during the show is my actual special,
Okay.
which will now be recorded
Okay.
and will be made available
It's for us to watch
Yeah.
later. Okay.
on any of these platforms.
Okay.
Well, I know
I like
for
that.
every crap that you do, there are do's and don'ts.
Yes.
And I know for comedy, there are do's and there are don'ts as well.
Yeah.
It's nice. We just had a conversation about tables, and it almost cannot be taken out because
Yeah.
that's how you can make money. Now about comedians cracking other people's jokes, because I know it is a big problem in the industry where you find
Yeah.
out that you see 5 comedians come on stage, and you heard that joke over and over and over again, told by someone else. It's good for you to have materials that you know you own.
Yeah.
But I feel it's a big problem where comedians
Especially in
crack
Nigeria, yes.
Yeah, where you sit in there and you hear a guy crack your joke, and you're like,
painful.
"That's my material."
Yeah, it's painful.
How do you guys cope that? Is because I feel for me that's become a big problem in your industry.
It's a very big problem right now. And the thing is, the unfortunate thing is that the people, like for instance, because they're so comfortable right now with biting materials from other comedians. If someone bites from this person and says it on stage, another person will bite it and go say it on another stage, another person bites it. So at the end of the day, they don't even know the source of the material.
Okay.
So sometimes when I hear my material being told by someone else, and I call it, and I like, dude, man, how far now? Like, dude, he said, no, Oga, no be your material, it's so person that I got it from. So before you even can track it down to the source, you'll be tired. So what I do right now is that I just have to work harder. You understand? Like that's the only thing I can do, because you can't stop it. But there are some materials that when they touch, I'll look for you.
Wow.
I have to stop you.
Have you been in a position where you were somewhere and somebody cracked your joke?
Yes, several times. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. But the guy is still there and walking around the streets of Lagos. I had a gig. I just wrote this material. The material was barely 1 month old, and it was a classic. So we had this gig at a hotel, and I got on stage after him, like two performances after him, and I went on and I had my routine. And as I was dropping this material that was supposed to be a killer, it was getting an average response. So in my mind, I was like, something is wrong. Something is wrong. So, as I was saying it, I was like, something is wrong. And I was like, okay, immediately I switched it up. I was like, no, there's something wrong. So I switched and went to a new material, and I picked it up and got my balance, and by the grace of God, killed it. So when I came off the stage, one guy now came to me, Ian Kakin, the stage manager, and I said, I was trying to give you a sign that so person had done the joke.
Wow.
And the person was right there. And the person saw that I was on the bill. And guess what? He probably didn't know it was my material, because he must have heard it from someone else. So it's crazy. But the thing is, when they touch the classics, it's painful. When they touch those ones that we don't care about, I don't care.
Well, classics, because that's
but
one
classics.
You can do it for. Those are the evergreen jokes. You can do it for as long as you want, and it would still hit.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see how. I'm trying not to go physical on anybody. I'm trying to see how we can manage the situation so we don't have to choke someone.
But I think this would be an idea for you guys who are out there. I've always suggested it. It would be nice to have a parody account where you actually post jokes, because all this is had documented. If somebody tells a joke, you post it and post somebody who told that same joke and say
side by side, and who owns the joke.
It makes it look like it's a little bit petty, but maybe we'll go that route.
But it's nice. It's nice to cover it, because now the truth is you're not the only one who complains about things like this.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked that even the person who actually jacks up people's jokes complains about the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes they do it because they've jacked theirs. Some of them, they're upset. They're like, you know what? I don't care. They've stolen my jokes. I'm still in this, and there's some of my material. It's so bad now that I will see a comedian killing on stage, and I'm laughing. And at the end of the day, I'll go and meet either Bobby or Butcher. I say, look, I heard this guy crack this joke. Is it his joke? Do you know? Have you heard this joke somewhere else? They'll know, like, no, it's not his joke. It's so person that has the joke. Is that? I think it happens so many times. It has happened so many times.
So is there a possible solution to the problem?
No, it's impossible. It's just unfortunate, but it's impossible, because the reason why it's impossible, because these are other comedians. They do smaller gigs, so they can use that material for 6 months and you won't even know, because the gigs they are doing, those materials are on the main, some places that you will never,
some in churches,
but you will never hear
weddings.
So you will never know. So when you are doing those gags, people will be in the crowd and go like, man, this guy is just cracking all these upcoming comedians material. Shall this guy not get level again?
Crazy.
I personally, I want to know, so there's been cases of, comedians they're making other people happy, but they're miserable themselves, so you're making people happy. What makes you happy, number one? And do you watch comedy shows all the time, or as soon as you're done being a comedian, you just face other things?
Yeah, like I can't stop being a comedian. Like, it's my life. It's what I am. But at the same time, the only thing that's different is, like, I'm not just cracking jokes. I'm now conceiving. I'm now feeding from my environment.
Okay.
But normally, 24/7, I'm a comedian. So it's not as if I switch. Now, when it comes to watching other comedians, I do that. I learn from other comedians. Mm-hmm. I like watching, because the thing is that comedy it doesn't stop. It's where you feed from. Yeah, you might be feeding from a certain kind of environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you'll be missing out on a lot of topics, right? Then you watch another comedian, and they're using the same material that was available to you, those materials that were available, but they're using it better than you. So what you do is you look at them and learn how they were able to twist it, their timing and everything, and you go back to the ones that you were available to, bring them back. And there's nothing like a finished joke.
Wow.
There's nothing like a finished joke.
Okay.
So there's no joke on earth that will say that, oh, this joke is 100% perfect. There's not like that. There's always room for improvement when it comes to material.
Okay.
Yeah. With music, you can get a masterpiece. Yes, and with jokes, there's always something. That's why you see some comedians, they'll crack these jokes, like this particular joke like this, and it's good, and they do it the next day. Because of they removed something or the timing is not perfect, it goes flat. You understand? So, but if you keep adding, and people go like, man, I heard that joke. Do you know that the way he said it the last time wasn't even like this? It's even better now. That's when you know that the comedian is working on that particular material and giving it more flesh. Wow. You understand? So you need to be consistent with the way you pay attention to these people, because that's how it works. Like you need to.
Okay. A lot of education on comedy here from a legend called Basket Mouse. Guys, don't forget, 6 minutes, we're about to hit 1 o'clock, and you can actually watch us live from facebook.com/CoolFM969. When we get back, we'll be putting him on the spot. We always give a top 5. I know it's going to be pretty hard for him to say, but he's going to give us a top 5 Nigerian comedians. And then we talk about Lord of the Reefs, the comedy, how to get the tickets, how you want to be at that show. In the meantime, good music from David Lee and Zlatan. Lock up. Right back in the show, guys. I have Basket Mouth here.
Yeah.
We said we're going to put him on the spot. You know, we always ask our top 5 already. I think Kevin's supposed to get kicked from there.
Yes. Okay, so it's real simple, real easy. Should we make it Nigerian or overall?
Nigerian. As well,
okay, so we're gonna have 2 different ones. So top 5 Niger,
top 5 Nigerian,
and top 5 foreign comedians in separate lists.
Okay, let's start with
Nigerian.
Okay, not in order or just normal. Okay, this is gonna be hard. And with all due respect to every other comedian, 5 is too little. Look, you guys don't want to push it up.
We do top 5.
Top 5. Okay.
We can help you out in no particular order.
In no particular order, okay. Yeah. There's Bovi, there's Buchi, there's Alibaba, there's Oke Bakassi. There's Gandoki.
Nice.
Damn, I'll go die and I go save.
Top 5 Gandoki, Alibaba, Buchi, Bovi, and Oke Bakassi. And they're all fantastic.
You guys can just give me 5.
Okay, top 5 international.
Dave Chappelle.
That's my number 1 guy.
Eddie Murphy, D.L. Hewley. Russell Peters, and the 5th one. This one too is gonna be tough, man. Chris Rock.
Wow. I'm a huge fan of Chris Rock.
He's a funny guy.
You mentioned 2 guys I love. I love Chris Rock. I love Dave Chappelle.
Dave is my number 1. His new man. Sticks and Stones.
Oh, I don't like watching Dave. It makes me feel like I'm not doing comedy. Like,
he just so talks. Good. You know what's funny?
He doesn't care about the backlash.
You know what's crazy?
That's another thing.
Going back to what you're saying now is now the fact that you're not thinking that with David Chappelle, no restrictions.
He just says what he wants.
I think he's the only comedian that you can. I think he started that stuff when he was doing the Dave Chappelle show. With his kids, you will know that he's like he hits hard. You understand? When it comes to his comedy, the same thing. And he's the idea where he feeds off from. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know if you saw the special. There was one he did about a kid that was selling drugs at night. I don't know if
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. How would you think? I don't want to get into
that far.
That far. Like, he was talking about the fact that he got stuck in the hood and he locked his cars. And at some alley, he saw one kid wearing diapers, running drugs. And he, after a while, he told the kid, "What are you doing out here so late?" And the kid was like, "I'm trying to feed my family, God damn it." So like, he's just too crazy.
You know the good thing about David Chappelle is one that I loved about him is the recess. Like he was so good, he had to bang him out of retirement. Like, bro, just come back to comedy. That's to tell you how good he is. I mean, for you to leave for a long time and come back and pick it up. Another guy I love, and I'm happy he's going back to stand up is Eddie Murphy. I heard he's going back to stand up now.
He's
He's hilarious.
He's not 100% confirmed, but I think I don't know if he's 100%.
I know he's starting with the Saturday Night Live show first. I mean, hosting for the first time.
Yeah.
But I heard he might be going back to comedy, but you guys will be able to watch it on Netflix. I think he's doing something.
I guess
Netflix,
we'll see.
Netflix, deal.
I hope we get to see your Sons and Pitters on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
Very soon.
It's time.
Very soon. We're working on
time.
it. We're working on it. And probably that's it's actually one of the reasons why I'm actually trying to push the brand.
Yeah.
The Son of Peter. I know a lot of people say talking about the fact that son of Patricia and all that stuff. So I was thinking, like, should I change the name because Trevor has something like that? But then again, I think I released mine way before
he did. Yeah.
He did, and I'm like, I'm gonna run.
No, just keep it like that. That's it. Keep it like that. It's nice.
So I'm working on it right now. I should be ready the end of this month.
And he might drop on Netflix, right?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Amen.
Now, just to wrap this up, about Lord of the Ribs, how can I buy tickets? How can it come for the show?
Yeah, tickets are sold. For now, it's only online. www.cocobar.com and quickteller.com.
Okay.
Those are the two places that we sell the tickets.
Cocoa Bar is COKO.
Yeah, COKO.
Yeah, so Coco in there is KOK. It's COKOBAR.com. Yeah.
And there's quickteller.com.
Okay.
And yeah, those are the two places for now. From next week, we'll start selling the hard copy ticket. But we're trying to stay away from the paper tickets because, the way ours go, the way we do ours is our tickets are are all barcoded, right?
Okay.
So we use phones to scan the tickets. Do you understand? So we can actually come with your phone and we use our phone to scan your ticket.
Okay.
So we make it very easy for everybody. So if you just buy the ticket and you get the email, all you need to do is just to come with the barcode. And when you come, we'll scan the ticket and you walk in.
Is there a holding hard copy? Is there a holding hard copy?
You could just come with your phone.
That's the future.
Right.
That's the future.
We're going to the future. Then we can do that. Then to get tables, you call 080-555-55121. That's 555-55121.
121.
Yes.
Good number. I like that. No, you even smile. That's a good number. 555-121. That's a good number.
Yes.
That's a good number. Thank you so much, Basket, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
That was a pleasure.
I know that's what Dotun is always out for. I see you at work.
Well, you did good.
I saw what you did.
You did all right.
You did all right.
I saw what you did. Should I start mentioning names? When I was going, I was like, God, I hope
No. Those
people.
people came for the controversy.
Oh, they came.
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
I know the thing is
They came to sort out problem.
Okay, I don't have any
You don't have any problem.
Yeah.
Not sure you they said.
And the only guy who was booking the record, sorry, I mean, he came with the whole lawyers and everything.
Ubi,
Franklin.
yeah, so he came
He
ready.
with 3 lawyers. He came with a chamber.
He came ready.
He came with a whole chamber.
The chamber.
Ubi, shout out to Ubi Franklin, right? Back to the show, Burner Boy Spiritual, 17 minutes past 1 o'clock. We have another guest on the show, guys,
Yes,
so
we
fingers
do.
crossed. Don't touch that radio.
Here we go.
96.9